Everything you do here, here, or here goes in here and ends up here. Over-applying chemical fertilizer on your lawn leads to chemical runoff in our waterways. Waste that goes into storm drains becomes waste that pollutes our streams. Pet waste left on the ground washes into our water along with harmful bacteria. Help keep our water healthy and safe. Remember, if it's on the ground, it's in our water. Learn more at mark.org.
Good evening, everybody. If we could all find our seats. Going to call this meeting to order. It is 6 o'clock in the evening. Roll call, please.
Councilmember McGrone,
Here.
Councilmember Fitzgerald,
Here.
Councilmember Alvarez is absent right now, Councilmember Clark,
Present.
Councilmember Salinas,
Here.
Councilmember Click,
Here.
Councilmember Saper,
Here.
Councilmember Bailey.
Here. All right, now we have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember McGrone. All right, now we're going to move on to item 4, approval of the agenda, and we have one item is this item 10 that we're pulling?
The task order with the lime sludge.
Okay, we're going to amend it and pull item 10. Any further?
I'm sorry, are we putting it on the regular agenda?
We're just
Just
removing it.
Removing
Yep.
it, okay. Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion on the agenda?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 5, comments from the public. If you're a member of the public wishing to speak, please approach the podium, state your name and your address for the record, and please keep your comments to 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
On Shemeka's Market in Delhi. My first time attending one of these meetings. Richard invited me here. I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about myself and how well everything's going in North Kansas City for me as a business owner. I've been in business now for 5 years. I opened during the heart of COVID, and that was very difficult. We've totally seen a 180, 360 change in everything that's going on here in the city, and I'm very appreciative for that. We have been in business, my family has been in business since 1935, so it's been a long haul for our family. We're celebrating our 95th year this year. Me being in business 5 years, we love to help out with different organizations here in North Kansas City as well as all over Kansas City. My family does give a lot to a lot of different communities here in the Northland as well as Kansas City proper. I came tonight to just say that with the holidays around the corner, we do lots of corporate catering events. I do have some little menus here, as well as our corporate gift baskets. We donate to the event that's in December for North Kansas City for the auction, the the Magic Night. And we will have these for sale in the deli from here going forward. They're great corporate gifts, great customer gifts, and we're always here to support the community and love being here. I was honored enough to purchase our building 2 years ago, so we actually own the building now, and there's plenty of room to grow, so I'm hoping that North Kansas City is going to grow with me. So thank you for having me, and I'm going to leave these little things right here on the podium if anyone needs them.
Beautiful.
And here's the gift baskets.
Right over
If anyone needs them
Yeah.
for Christmas. So just come on down.
Thank you. Thank you. Is it the twice baked potato salad?
Yes, the twice baked potato salad.
Yeah, don't sleep on that. It's very good, very good. Thank you. Further public comments? Good evening.
I'm Liz Ryan, 2417 Erie, North Kansas City. I am just calling, basically, I was about the codes for the yards and things like this, and I don't know how you're going to vote, but I wish that you wouldn't have let the grass go too tall, because by the time you do a citation and go on, it's ready to bale hay. And I just wish that, and like for, I have the best neighborhood there is for snow, and there, we've got the Carnes, we've got Silvis, we got Woods, we got Boyd. They do our driveway, and they do the sidewalk. And I'm really blessed with them, and there's people on Fayette too. But anyway, I think when you have that for the snow removal, that'd be a hard thing, because like at the, where you live, it has to do so much snow before they remove it. Remember, it has to be so many inches,
Oh, yeah.
right?
That's correct.
Okay.
The
So
HOA.
anyway, I wonder, are you going to do that, or how do you feel about the snow, and where do you go with that? Just curious.
I think we're going to discuss that at some point this evening. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Okay, that's all I have to say, and I just think, and you know, I know that you guys are doing the best you can with codes, but you know, on Fayette and things like that, we've got cars and stuff, you know, you could call it Midway Auto Salvage, where the cars are there. When do we get that taken care of? How long does it take? It's been there 4 or 5 years. All those cars there, how long does it take, and what do you have to do to get it resolved?
Well, if it's a code violation and you report it to the codes department, I know they're looking into them.
Yeah, that's been, I've reported. Anyway, thank you. I just wanted to say, I just don't want you to have the grass get so tall. And then by the time you do it, bale hay. Thank you.
Thank you. Further public comments? Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. A couple comments. There was a representative from Metropolitan Lutheran who appeared before you all endorsing the MOU, which you guys did approve, which I'm appreciative to. But she also more or less indicated that Northland Assistance Center is not collaborating with other agencies, which is simply untrue. As a matter of fact, I invited her and Councilmember Click to a meeting today, which was already scheduled in regard to the homeless issue. That meeting, so for those of you who are concerned about the restrictions that the MOU is imposing, a Turning Point has found a faith-based community in the Northland, which is the area of which I serve, that will house people regardless of credentials when the temperature is 10 degrees or below. So I wanted to let you know that in my continued effort, as best as I can do without building a homeless shelter, I continue to collaborate with other agencies. Our agency's been around for 45 years. We've collaborated with every service agency in Clay and Platte County since our inception, and certainly since my 18 years there. There's an item on the agenda, which I thought was going to be removed, Mayor Smith. We had talked about this in regard to temporary food assistance. I'm not sure what that discussion is going to be about, but our agency does provide food for the North Kansas City residents and the greater Northland. In the last 2 days, our community, particularly North Kansas City, has really stepped up. We have received hundreds of dollars worth of food, and Save-A-Lot is we've always worked with them. We have a food pantry. I'm not sure what this particular food assistance is. So I'm thinking that a number of you do not know what services we actually render. So I have brought you brochures in regard to our services and our exhilarating services with Access KC, which provides medical kinds of needs and things like that, because all of your wards are going to be affected by the fact that they're on furlough. I had 5 clients coming in this week for rent and utility assistance who are furloughed from the federal government. And even though SNAP may or may not be back in place due to the federal courts, it's going to be a while till they actually get their benefits. So I would like to share this information with all of you so there's no question as to what we do. I want you to know we do have a food pantry. You can refer your people to us in regard to the other items in this brochure. As a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting in COVID. Thank you, Crystal. The North Kansas City, they list our phone number on your water bills for people who need help with their water who cannot pay it. So there's a lot of things that many of you do not know about that you need to know about, and I'll be very curious as to the discussion in regard to temporary food assistance, and I will stay through that discussion in case you have any questions in regard to what services we can provide. Thank you.
Thank you. Further public comments? Good
Good
evening.
evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. I really don't want to come up here and talk, but
Good
you've got
night,
an
then.
issue on about things exempt in the residential area, and I cannot imagine it would be exempt to have a 5,000-gallon water tank sitting in my backyard or my side yard for my neighbors to look at. I really think you need to look at that particular item.
All right. Make a note of that, Shu. 5,000-gallon water tank. All right. Further public comments? Good evening.
I got a little ahead of myself. Hi, my name is Kristen Bontrager. I am also your item 7 tonight. But I wanted to come up because 2 reasons now. Also, I work for a transitional housing organization, Hillcrest Hope, and we are very familiar with Northland Assistance and have utilized you before.
Assistance Center.
Yes, sorry.
Was not stated the last time.
But I'm very excited to learn everything you just said because I actively seek resources to deliver out to folks who may or may not qualify for our program, just, supplemental stuff to get everyone through. But I came up here because I'm an active bicyclist and I love how many protected bike lanes there are and the use of native plants in that. Big fan of the pedestrian safety and the massive amount of bus stops. That is incredible. One of the biggest barriers to permanent stable housing is childcare and transportation. So NKC, doing a great job, I think. So thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Further public comments? Seeing none, thank you all for your comments. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. Do we need to make a motion on the amended consent agenda? Okay. Do we have a motion on the amended consent agenda?
I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Item 11 on the regular agenda.
Public transit discussion, guest.
Mike, you want to tee this one up?
All right, good evening. As has happened the last few meetings, we've kept this discussion going. Additionally, tonight, Patrick Dye from Guest is here to answer any questions and provide a little information to the council on their services. Do you want an update on our recent, we've had meetings and continue any of that yet?
Yeah, I mean,
We've continued to meet with KCATA. They sent over, I apologize, a proposal of 8-hour flex services.
yeah, 8 hours per day as a kind of a bridge potentially. How about we'll let Patrick do his presentation and then we'll talk through possibilities and ways we can slide through all of it. So, hey, thank you for coming out. Thanks for making the trip. I know you've been busy cutting ribbons everywhere, so.
Yeah, Lavelle is, we're actually launching, we have the ribbon cutting at Riverside tonight. So my COO, Lavelle, I flew in town to meet with you guys and to come to the ribbon cutting. So Lavelle's there and I came here with you guys. So yeah, they're actually doing the ribbon cutting right now. And thank you guys for letting us talk. So my name is Patrick Dye. I own Guest Transportation. So we started in 2018 in Cincinnati, Ohio, and please don't hold that against me. I'm sorry. But started in Cincinnati and then really took off. Started growing in 20 during COVID. We found that we were more focused on urban cores of cities, and then it just kept growing and growing and expanding outwards into more municipality style of operations for the reasons that public transit is becoming way too expensive. So cost per rider is extremely high. It's very taxing on the municipalities. So we came with our solution, what we do in urban cores, and just expanded out into larger scale areas. So we started in Gladstone, September 1st. And then we strategically did a slow rollout Everybody knows that a lot of the data is not there, so we are really just starting from scratch. And so then we just launched Liberty October 1st, and then Riverside tonight. We have Parkville next Friday. And so essentially what we do is we give you true door-to-door service. So we will pick you up. We start at 6:45 in the morning, Monday through Friday, and go till 9 o'clock at night. And then on the weekends, we go from 10 o'clock till 9. So I don't know, did you guys share the packet with them? So to give you guys just a little bit brief overview of what we use SUVs for all the 2025 and 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe's. We're adding in more. We have 4. We're just adding in, now we're getting in buses. We're getting into minivans. The more we grow, the more we add. So the first month in September, for Gladstone alone, we did 268 trips. So which we were extremely pleased with. And then fast forward to October, just in Gladstone alone, just this month, we did 656 total trips, 447 in Gladstone, just in the urban core of Gladstone. And then adding in from Gladstone to Liberty, we did 656 trips in October. The one thing that, when we started this business and started this program here, we thought it was going to be all on demand. Very little, if not any, on demand. It is all pre-scheduled rides. When we worked with Gladstone and Liberty and everybody else, this program is not meant to be your everyday Uber. We want it to be for the people that really need the services, the people that can't afford the $20 car ride when they're making $10 or $12 or $15 an hour just one way. And if they're early in the morning, as we all know, there's surcharges, everything varies. So we have a flat $3 rate anywhere in Gladstone, Riverside, Parkville, Liberty, and potentially North Kansas City, going from each way. So it's very economical on the consumer, and it's focusing on those people that, as you mentioned earlier, from a children and parents that don't have a car, and it's going to doctor's appointments or dialysis treatments or work or school. We service all of that. We pick them up at their front door, we pick them up, drop them off, and they know that if mom or grandma or grandpa needs a ride, that we're going to be there when we say we're there. And it's just dwarfed into, we're almost 99% pre-scheduled rides. And we let you book a week in advance. So which makes it really encouraging. It's very busy as our team sees it. And I have Jessica here, who is our director of all operations. And she's busy, busy, busy all day, every day. But our team is super excited about it. The cities they're the ones, getting the praise. We have no care if anybody knows who we are. The cities are the ones that are the rock stars. That's what our job is to make the cities look like rock stars, because this is their community, their constituents, and they're helping fund this, and that's why they get the press, and that's what they want. We take all the heat if there's something bad, but knock on wood, we've had no issues. But again, we want to make sure that the cities look like the rock stars with it. That's our job, and we're just here to make everybody's life a lot easier.
Very good. All right, thank you for that. So I was looking through some of the stuff you provided in the packet. Looks like a couple months in, 95% on-time performance.
Yep.
Curious how you define on-time. Is that within a 10, 15-minute window? Or
No, we schedule, with everything scheduled, we are there either 5 minutes before or after. So to give you kind of an example, we try to bake, with all the rides pre-scheduled, it's normally 15 minutes. If you look at from Gladstone to Liberty, the farthest distance it is. So we're literally monitoring it that we do in 15 to 20-minute increments. So right now we average 34 trips a day.
Okay.
So, or 34 rides a day. So it's quite a bit, but we have peak times. If you look on that first page, our busiest time is really 7 to 10 in the morning, and you have a big lull from the middle of the day, but it's 3 to 5 or really 3 to 6 is your next big window. What we've really seen, we wanted to go late night, but we're not seeing much there. Do we think we're going to see a trend change now that we have Riverside and Parkville because it's a younger demographic and with the casino? Yes, we do. So we're literally just monitoring how this is and seeing where everything is. But with that, we know the busiest, if we have one customer every day at 6:45 that could not be there by 7 to be where they need to be. So we get there, we just come in early for that customer. So we allow the customers to prepay as well, the $3. So if they schedule 5 rides, we can just prepay the whole thing, and that way they don't have to worry about it. They're not worrying about every time taking care of it. So we just try to make it as easy and accommodating for everybody.
Very good. Capacity concerns. So as this grows out, right? If
We're just adding more vehicles. I mean,
Okay.
that's the easiest thing. We just add more to the fleet. What we thought was going to be, and a lot of businesses now are seeing employment questions. We got on average 7 to 10 applications a day for people wanting to drive. What separates us versus other companies is that these are our vehicles. I pay for the gas. I'm covering all the expenses. They just come in. They clock in. They're on our insurance. There's no cost to my employees. So we cover all the expenses. And they get to drive, and they start out at $20 an hour for drivers. So we're not getting the lower spectrum of employees, which some people are, but we're paying a premium price, but we're getting premium quality employees.
And when we kick the tires on these sorts of programs in the past, finding and vetting drivers plus making sure passenger safety is. So can you talk through how you're vetting your drivers, and then are you using cameras in the car to make sure that the passengers are staying safe? So
the first thing is this goes back to they're under our insurance policy. So the first thing, they might be a great employee, but our Progressive, who is our insurance provider, they are the final say in anything. So they could pass all of our background checks, but if they have a certain number of tickets, if they have DUIs, DWIs, if they have anything on their motor vehicle record that is not within their scope, sorry, they kick them back and say they can't be under your policy. So on top of all that, each of our drivers, they have to go through our screening, our background checks, and then they have to go through the insurance's background check, which is the last thing. On top of that, we have forward-facing inside cameras and outside cameras that are live at all times. So we can see at any point, anytime, I can turn on a camera from the computer and see what is going on. It's all hooked up through the computer system in the car. So I know if there's a speed issue, I know if there is anything like an accident or anything, we have full live access to it 24 hours a day.
Very good. And then the booking piece of it. So how are people, I know that a number of the folks who use our Flex service, which this would be sort of the proxy to, prefer to call and speak to a person and get that written down.
That's Jessica.
So as we go capacity, that's where I'm wondering, are we going to
We're
have
adding more.
Jessicas?
Yeah, we're just having more.
All right.
The nice part is we know where we are now, but we know what we're getting into the next level and the next level. So we have a strategic rollout plan with this that we've implemented, and this is phase, we'll call it 2, with the addition of Riverside and Parkville. And we'll probably be 25 to 30 employees by the first of the year.
Sorry, one more. The last time we talked was the day of the ribbon cutting in Glass. So it was like all this was theoretical at that point. And I asked about the booking piece. So like, I'm not the one that wants to call and speak to Jessica. No offense, but I would rather do that online. Do we have a booking system set up?
You can schedule it through. You can call us, email us, coordinate every which way, because it's all pre-scheduled. That's the biggest thing. And because we give you that full week window, you just let us know, hey, I want to be picked up from this restaurant or this place, or go here. We lock it in. We'll send you a confirmation email, and you've got it taken care of. We know your pickup address. We have your point of contact, your pickup address, and drop-off location. So we know where everything is. You can, use the app. Now, you cannot use the app in North Kansas City because we haven't built the geofence, but you can use it in Riverside, Parkville, Gladstone, and Liberty.
Very good. All right, Councilmember Saper.
Yeah, how demand sensitive can you adjust to different peak times during the day or slack times at night?
So it's more just on, we're taking this, everything we do is all analytical data. So we're taking nothing that any of our predecessors did and taking our live action data with it. So it's just if we know that we see a massive peak. So if you look at this, like for instance, but 62 rides at 7 a.m., the 7 to 8 o'clock window. So we have more people scheduled earlier in the morning versus the slack time, and then later at night we have that.
How do you handle on-demand service in terms of the scheduled service?
So what we'll do is
if I wanted to go to Harrah's or the hospital suddenly, and I called you up, where would I stand?
You call us and we can tell you how fast we can get to it. That's what I like about our system is it's not AI. What you run into a lot of these programs, it's all run by a bot or AI. You have somebody that's in Gladstone, in the office, that can tell you how fast we can get to you based on we can track wherever our vehicle is, and we can tell you how fast they can get to your location.
Would on-demand increases change your driver profile and vehicle profile?
No, we're still going to be using the same SUVs. It's just I'll have more on based on those certain times of day. So if it requires us having 6 vehicles on at any given time, then we have 6 vehicles on at any given time. If it's from 6 to 9, we rarely have any rides whatsoever currently, just because it's our average age is 60 plus years old in this current market. But with adding in Riverside and with Parkville, we know we're going to see a younger demographic. So we're watching the trends. We'll see where everything is, and we'll just add our employees to it. So adding vehicles and adding employees, that's not really a problem for us. So with having, we'll be at close to 30 employees. It's an easy thing for us. Most of them want to work full-time. We have some that work part-time, and so we just stagger in the shifts with everything.
Further questions? Oh, Lizzie, go ahead.
Are your vehicles ADA compliant?
We do not currently have an ADA compliant vehicle. We are in the process of, if we want to buy one, we will, but the data that everyone has been able to give us, there is none that do it. So on our website, we do have the capability. We list the other ones, but we will add one as soon as we see more of the demand, and we stay in contact with every city, and it's like, hey, as soon as we get the bigger peak for it, because financially, if I go buy a $50,000 or $60,000 ADA vehicle and it's going to sit 99% of the time, I'd rather just outsource it to a company that can do it. And so we list all those on our website. But if we see the demand, and I say this in all due respect to previous predecessors, their data shows an occasional 1, 0. So it's hard. So we're more than willing to buy one, and we will. We just, with the 2 cities, we've had one request.
I just bring it up specifically because we've got the hospital, and if we open that up to service here in Northtown, I expect there might be more people who
So we actually already currently run to the hospital here.
Okay.
So we currently service, Jessica, can you tell the hospitals or areas that we service?
Yeah, we currently service, we go Liberty Hospital, North Kansas City Hospital.
Yeah, we got to get it on the mic. Can you lift the mic up a little? Both of y'all are kind of tall. All right, perfect. I was going to stop you, but you were on a roll.
We currently go to Liberty Hospital, we go to North Kansas City Hospital, we go to St. Luke's. So even if they are residents of Gladstone or Liberty and they need to go to one of those hospitals that are outside of the municipality, we do take them. It's a necessary, they need to get there to the appointments that they don't have transportation to, so we still do it for them. You're welcome.
Very good. That leads to the geofencing discussion. So I understood from the earlier discussion that there's the ability to geofence in pretty well anything that I guess the 5 cities have agreed upon, because that would then put it into everyone's network. Have there been places other than North Kansas City Hospital geofenced in from the other cities that have signed up that are like in Kansas City proper or something like that? Yeah, just hang out. Yep.
So as of right now, any of the hospitals have all been pre-scheduled trips. People pretty much know when their doctor's appointments are going to be. So we haven't had anybody use it out of the geofence for the hospitals yet, but
it's possible.
It is possible, yes.
Very good. Yeah, hospitals would be about the one that we'd probably want to look at. The rest of it, like essentials, like grocery stores, keeping them in the cities that are funding that would be useful.
We can precision drop to the street, to the sidewalk, where you want it to go. So we give the autonomy to you guys onto where you want the geofence to be. We have, I mean, it is a cantankerous conversation, but there are certain areas that are technically not part of a particular municipality, and it's like, well, they should pay for part of it. And for us, it's like, if I have to drive through it, it is not, you know, again, I'm not going to cry over spilt milk that I'm driving through an area to get to your area to drop, you know, to make sure somebody can get there, because there are gas stations, doctor's appointments, grocery stores, all in that area. So
some Northland politics, my man.
Yeah, like it's politics everywhere.
Yeah.
But again, we at the same time.
Yeah.
It's no skin off our back. I mean, when we go to specific bus stops and that are not in the technical zone, it might be a quarter mile up the road. What is that? A 10-second ride for us? Like, who cares? So we make sure they get there. We include it. It's not.
Part of that is what I appreciated when we first discussed this, is that general attitude of like, if it's reasonable, we'll do it, versus what we had previously where people were being told, absolutely not, we're not going to drive to the end of the block because this is where we drop you. And that like led to an immediate pull the plug.
So, and again, that's what separates us, is we are true door to door, where the lady is walking out of her house. We pick her up right in her front yard, right in her driveway, and take her to where they need to go. Not drop them off. Oh, you need to walk a block or 2 blocks to get to us because that's the line of demarcation, and then it stops here and you still need to go walk. I mean, if it's raining, when it starts to snow, God, I hate the snow. But you want to be able to go out your front door and get in the car just like it's your regular car, carry your groceries, and, you know, it was, as we met on the first day, my first ride was a lady that was, I'm going to say, mid to late 80s, and I picked her up and took her to Walmart. We got together, we did the ribbon cutting, and 3.5 hours later, she was still at Walmart. And I'm like, did you get it? She called me out of the blue, hey, Patrick, can I come pick me up? I'm like, well, sure, where are you at? Oh, I'm still at Walmart. I just walked around for this to get out of the house. And I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, I mean, that's why we give them that true door-to-door service.
Councilmember Bailey.
So my question is, as you're adding municipalities and, you know, where you went into Gladstone thinking, okay, I can go from anywhere in Gladstone to anywhere in Gladstone, but all of a sudden someone wants to go from Gladstone to Liberty, you're extending your time frames, and, you know, I would expect your ridership would increase to that. Is your model such that you can withstand that increased demand and time frame of them being in the vehicle longer and still be able to support it?
So yes, adding like I said, adding employees and adding vehicles has really not been an issue. That's an easy thing. It's just, yes, there's going to be a time when if we can't control where everybody goes at one time. If we have multiple ride requests from North Kansas City to Liberty to Riverside to here, there's only so much that we can do. So what we have seen and what people do understand, this is not Uber. This is not Lyft. If you are that pressed on something like that, then take one. This is a $3 ride. So there is a level of, we understand, like I could put 50 vehicles on the road and still not be able to keep up with the demand. So at that point, there's just, our biggest success, our biggest failure is going to be our success. So we have to learn to manage it and be smart with it.
Councilmember Saber.
Considering what we've been through the last few years, this sounds too good to be true. If we got references from other cities, what would we find out?
Exactly what you just said. They love us. They can call us at any time. Again, this perfect example, I hopped on a plane this morning, flew here just for this meeting. Lavelle, our COO, he's in Parkville. Our whole team is here. Each city gets a report like this every month. And so it's like, hey, what KPIs do you want us to add? What things do you want done? Again, I could care less if anyone knows who we are. It's about you guys. We want the city to look like rock stars. We just want to be able to make everybody's day a little bit easier. But if you can call up Kurt, you can call up Bob Baer, you can call up both mayors, they'll all tell you the same thing. We love it.
How about other cities that you've been in?
Pardon me?
How about other cities that you've been in other parts of the country? You said it started in Cincinnati?
Yep. So
what's happening there?
We have expanded from 6 vehicles to 10. We are now taking over. So the way Cincinnati is, it's kind of like Kansas City, where we have a river that separates Ohio and Kentucky. So our bridge is closing down. One of the bridges is closing down for the next 2 years. So Covington and Newport are the cities right across the river.
Mm-hmm.
They have just contracted us to take over the transit for the community. So because you're not going to the bridge is closing down to connect the 2 communities, so they've hired us versus hiring a tank bus, which is our transit authority of Northern Kentucky. So they just hire us because we're better, cheaper, and faster. And so Cincinnati, if there is any event that goes on in the city, any major, from a play to a NFL game, MLB game, all of any city-sanctioned events from Oktoberfest to Riverfest to anything that goes on, they bring us in to come in as another form of transit. Now, in Cincinnati, it's free. It's a different kind of service because it only stays in the urban core. So Detroit, same way. Downtown Chicago, same way. Savannah, Georgia, we just opened up within the last 2 weeks. Dayton, Ohio is another smaller market. And then Denver, Colorado. So it started one way and it's gone here. We're getting ready to launch in April in New Orleans. And then it's with a city-backed program. And then we are coordinating now, which we're actually flying the people in from Sacramento. So they're coming here to meet with the city officials here because we're launching in Sacramento. We're doing a hybrid mix of SUVs, buses to the surrounding downtown Sacramento area, and then we're using the carts in the urban core of the city. So for us, I've surrounded myself with people that are way smarter than me. I'm just a pretty face. And I let them, they're the ones that help lead everything. My board is, if you guys go to the airport now, have you heard of Transdev? They control the airport. So one of my board members is the ex-CEO of Transdev. And so we've brought in some bigger players to help me grow this and to make this very successful. So we're going and moving.
Councilmember Fitzgerald.
I have a few questions I've been collecting over here, so bear with me. But first, just out of curiosity, kind of comparing this to, I think, Z-Trip that was pretty much running Iris. Are your drivers employees or contractors?
They're employees.
Okay.
So that's why they have to go, they're under our insurance. They don't pay for gas. They don't pay to use the vehicles. This is our employees. They make $20 an hour. They're W-2. So they're paid biweekly.
Appreciate it. And then I think I saw somewhere in here right now your fleet is 4 vehicles.
Yep.
For about 600 some rides a month. I know we've been averaging a little less than just under 1,100 rides a month. You feel pretty comfortable with your ability to scale up quickly on that fleet size if needed there?
Adding vehicles is not an issue. Only thing I will say is that let me give you, I will be able to look at the data and be able to provide you with data. We won't trust any of the other people's data just due to the fact that
I'm following you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we requested the data from ATA to give to them prior to this meeting, and we got it yesterday. So we requested it a week and a half. We got it yesterday and passed it to them, and they did the best they could with that. We do have, if you guys are following along with these, this is our ridership of our Flex service. I know you guys don't have that handy right now, but total rides in the last 6 months, 6,478. Of note, second page, I've got one here that lists, I think that's just me right here. So it's 82% of the rides are handled by 32 people total. 32 people. One person took 522 rides in the last 6 months.
We saw that.
So it's not necessarily that we're getting a little under 1,100 a month. It's the same person jumping spot to spot to spot around town. And so paring that back, I think the true ridership is going to be a lot lower than that number, hence capacity. But
currently based off your numbers, and so what I did when I got that last night is I looked at this total rides. And so I broke down, there was a specific column that you guys probably wouldn't, that's buried deep in there. And I looked at how many actual rides were there in the 6 months. And a lot of it, like he said, was the same person. So they did list where they do the drop-offs, and you kept seeing a lot of the same thing over and over and over and over and over. So we started looking at what is that location. So it was a house, it was the casino, it was a job. And so we started deducting, okay, these are certain things. But this number, this 6478, we broke it down because we just typed in the formulas and created the sheet. So you guys are doing 35.9 people per day. And that's over that full, what they're doing. I do that already in our areas currently. So it's really not, capacity is not there. It's just, that's just me doing what I'm doing already.
Okay.
So not scared of it. Let's put it that way.
Good to know. Pricing, you've mentioned $3 a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a separate cost to the city beyond that?
Yes.
We've only had round numbers thrown out. I don't think we've seen a contract or anything like that.
we have the bones of a contract, and remind us, you can say what's on there.
It just varies because like every city's is different based on everything, so we can, kind of talk through that. I just kind of looking at this kind of blind from last night, but again, we can go through numbers and talk to that. We're pretty simple. We have a standard contract that has a sister agreement that allows every city to work in conjunction. We added a specific provision. That's what everybody wanted, which is fine, so that it's like a piggyback provision, so that each contract is with each individual municipality. There's been talks that it might go to like one big thing, which is fine too. Doesn't really matter to us, but we make it pretty simple. It's a standard contract, and you guys can nitpick it and go through it, and we figure it out from there.
Yeah, and the amount on the contract would depend on level of service. Like if we request a specific paratransit style, like that's going to increase costs. So the base number was in the $10,000 a month range, depending on what else we add. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it'd be good to start distributing some of that so we can compare against the flex route. We're 2 months, I guess. So after
It's getting close
here.
Yep.
And then the last series of questions I kind of wanted to run by is, right now we have a certain number of people within North Kansas City that are used to a point-to-point within the city at no cost to them. Is there any opportunity or possibility of geofencing and rides solely within North Kansas City and
that's a neat,
discounting a rate for those? Basically, I guess the city would subsidize
we can
it
kind
or
of really
something.
do anything. We'll kind of we give you guys the autonomy, and we can just add, we can adjust.
Build it from there.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be something.
And that's why we, like I said, we give you. We're not going to come here and tell you you have to do this or you have to do that. We call this like we want this used being as a pilot because we know there's going to be changes. We've already seen that, you're not going to need certain things. We took what Z-Trip did from 4 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, And using their data, you had, in all these areas, less than 20 people in a given month between all the areas that they serviced use a vehicle from 4 to 6 a.m. That's where we're like, okay, we'll start at 7. And then there's nothing late night. So all of our information is strictly off of analytical data that we will provide you guys and show you guys why we make the decisions that we do. And then we work together with you guys to, go from there.
I guess just for the group here, it's my last thing, but
Yep,
more
go
a statement, but I'd be interested in exploring some kind of discounted rate for rides within North Kansas City, since $0 to $3 is a decent sized jump for, some people that are relying on that.
And we had talked about in the initial discussion about setting up a proxy to the flex where it'd be a single vehicle within North Kansas City, and that's potentially doable as well.
We've had the, kind of in our visionment is it's all going to be how big do you want the geofence? That's the biggest thing is how big do you want it? How small do you want it? And we'll make it there. I mean, we've had the internal discussions that, just based on size, based on what you guys were previously doing. I mean, if we really don't have a problem with keeping specific vehicles in certain areas. Like we know we're going to get to a point of where if we're, like I said, we're seeing so much on this pre-scheduled is that we will keep vehicles in those areas versus having to keep going back and forth. We've even thrown around the idea of potentially having like a satellite office. Riverside has graciously offered us like a little room with a desk that we can, if we know that there's a downtime versus driving back to the, driving back to back down to Gladstone, and that way we'll keep vehicles there at, peak times and off-peak times. Because again, you're going to get into the on-demand like you mentioned, and where if it's, hey, we're at the office, we're at the room over there waiting, because they're not, I don't want the guys and ladies driving around, just going in circles. Park it, we'll wait for the ride, and we'll go get to them instantly. Versus just, now I got to go back to Gladstone to come to here, to come to Liberty, to come here. No, we're not doing that. So.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Just real quick, you mentioned you only have like 4 vehicles right now. You said it's not an issue. Like how quickly can you add?
How fast do you guys want to get started? And
okay, that's a question. Okay,
that's the bulk
what
of
it's
it.
based on. Okay.
Yep.
Councilmember Salinas.
Just curious, how many people fit in your vehicle?
6.
6.
So 7 passenger vehicles. So we have a driver and 6 passengers.
So it's just $3 for the whole family? So you could put,
it's
per person?
Per person per ride. But you're normally no, it's only $2 per ride. Okay, well, I will defer to that. Yes, but it's because each ride's like it's $3 each way. So it's not, you're not going to get a $18 ride for 6 people. I know that for a fact. Yeah, it's $3 total per ride.
Yeah, mark that down.
Mark that down, and
then we'll let them figure it.
Like a household.
Correct. It's $3 $3 per ride.
So you could potentially take me to a sporting event for $6 or?
Yeah, as long as it's in the geofence.
That's in Kansas City.
We're not going downtown yet. We made the promise to the Northland that we're not going to expand south until at least after the first year, and we might even delay it even more because we don't want to mess this up. And if we expand too big, too fast, we could screw things up, and we can go run into the issue like you talked about, going to the airport. And that was a very big thing, as if we send a vehicle out to the airport, and that's what Z-Trip and some of the others did, takes out of service. You're 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you're coming from, and then they've got to go back. So we're not doing that, and they had like different price fares for going to different zones. We're not touching onto that yet. Let's just focus on us in the Northland, and then we will go from there. But we put it in the contract actually that we won't cross until after the first of the year if we decide to do it then.
Further questions, Councilmember Bailey.
How do you usually see remuneration from municipalities? Are the cities giving you a lump sum payment for this contract, or are you usually seeing?
It's all, we just do it, we could do a monthly payment with it.
But is that a known amount, or is that based on the ridership of that
No, it's
month?
we have a flat fee, like we pre-organize that beforehand. And
Okay.
then,
And so all of a sudden, if your ridership hits a level that is
we have a
unsupportable.
clause in there that we could say, because again, this goes back to, we can't believe any of the data that anybody's provided.
Mhm.
And so, and everybody agreed there, the conversations have already started coming back into their own cities like, hey, the numbers are dwarfing what we actually thought it was, and we need to start planning that it's probably going to be more due to the fact of the demand has become so high.
Okay.
So it's all working in there. I can send over a copy of the contract. I think we even sent over an example of it for just you guys to look at.
Okay.
But yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Go ahead.
Last question that I've got is, I've seen some kind of positives and negatives about your app.
Yep.
Is it pretty stable,
Yeah,
or how's it working right now?
We found out was, and again, I'm not an IT guy, so the downloads were too much for what the requests were, and so we ended up having to, on the back end, update and stuff with iOS and Android. So the volume of downloads that we can do, we were dwarfing that, so we tripled it. And so now the IT team is watching it on a monthly basis. They said throughout the country, we tripled what we did throughout the country, so we're never going to run into any of that.
Okay,
So-
I think some of the big complaints were that people would try to get a driver and then the driver would never show up.
No, it wasn't
Or
they would
was
never
it-
show up. It was because they couldn't get through
They
to
couldn't
the
get a driver at all?
Because
Okay.
we were dwarfing the system, and so everything has been, we had a re-release in the app 10 days ago, so everything was fixed prior to.
And can you do scheduled and on-demand via the app?
No, we didn't want to do scheduled yet through the app, so you can do on-demand instantly, but not scheduled. We'd rather you call because it's too hard to pre-schedule on the app. I'm not Uber, so I don't have the billions of dollars behind me, and we're going to do it, but it was just kind of, we're piloting the second version of the app. We have a version 3 releasing probably beginning of the year because it's kind of coinciding with the stuff that we're working with on Go North Kansas City with the World Cup and prep for all of that. So we're going through all of that right now. But I still, to be very honest with you, I don't know if I want to put scheduled rides through the app. I'd rather you talk with a person, and it gives you that sense of touch, and it gives you that sense of feel, and we know that it's going to be taken care of, and it's not coinciding with another location, another area. So I'd rather it go through that, or email us so we can do it that way. We don't want to mess that up. Too many people rely on us to go to doctor's appointments and grocery stores, so I'd rather not mess that up and just have them call.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, so next steps on that. I was going back through my emails and we started talking about the contract. And we have like a template that
Yeah, the
you
template,
sent
yep.
Before, but there's not numbers on
No, we
that
have-
one.
yeah,
So like
that's-
we need to lock that in so we
Yeah,
have
talk
like something
about-
to discuss.
Mhm.
Something between now and then on like what that pricing would be between now and our next meeting. So we'll have something as
Yeah,
we're really
we
trying
can
to
set up a
circle
time
on.
to talk
Perfect.
about that and then knock all that out and get that over to you pretty quick.
Okay, because I know we had some verbal back and forth about like what the pricing could look like, but
Right.
nothing.
And
in
again, I
writing.
know with some of the stuff like on the other things, we're adding, because this has become kind of a thing with it, is that we're adding a Tesco 15-passenger bus.
Yep.
So that others rather not deal with it, and so we just said, okay, we'll handle it for you. So if there's like larger scale transit operations that need with larger buses, 15-passenger is the cutoff for a CDL.
Yep.
So we don't want to have to go to the CDL route. So nobody wants to have to fight that battle, and the price is astronomically different for a CDL driver versus a non-CDL driver. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else for Mr. Dye?
And please feel free, reach out to us at any time. We can help with answer any questions, and if you want to reach out to any of the other constituents in the other locations. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. When you said the service in Cincinnati is free, is that
Yep.
just, what's that running?
So
I know it's much bigger.
It's different.
city.
So we actually don't use SUVs. I use the carts.
Okay.
And so that's more advertising based. And
Okay.
so like I have partnerships with the Reds and P&G and Kroger. So they wrap the vehicles, and then it's only in downtown and in northern Kentucky.
Gotcha.
So it's not going it's all just in the urban core of the city. So it'd be like going into downtown Kansas City and driving around and going from, again, point
So
A
if,
to
say, like, North Kansas City Hospital decided to, or NKC Health decides to, are you open to that? Like, they want to wrap one of your vehicles and
Yeah,
make
we-
that
we've
the
not really a
in the
problem with
city
that. Yeah.
transport?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, so there's no even guesstimation. I'm already seeing, like, maybe baseline. I thought I remember like 150,000 in my head was like kind of
120, like
120
10K,
would
yeah,
be
roughly
base,
10K.
but I think when we're looking at customizing and things like that, then we're pushing like 150, which is still pennies in the jar when we think about that against KCATA.
Correct.
So
Yeah, we've also, Parkville has picked up community partners that are picking up parts of the tab, and I don't know if that comes with vehicle wraps or whatever else, but those are options here, so that we can get, rolling advertisements for those places and some subsidies potentially, so all of that's on the table.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, we're an open book. Everybody will tell you it's been super easy to work with, and they love actually being able to talk to a real person. We have created a culture of yes. That's our job. You guys throw, this is your canvas, paint it, and it's our job to execute it. So.
Very good.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for that, and thanks for flying in for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right. Okay, further discussion on this one. So to muddy the waters further, this is the guest option. We've also had some discussions with the KCATA about, they came back to us and said, it reminded us, that if we do take away the flex, if we go away from the flex, we would be the last city to have it and to put it down. That would pretty much end that service. Yeah, to take it out to the woodshed. This would end that service, and so they would shut down their IT. They would cancel their contracts, and it would go away. So. And if we were to want to reapproach that for whatever reason, it would take a longer time to potentially stand it back up. And there may be additional costs with that. So what they did is they reached out and said, what about a short-term contract at a reduced rate and reduced hours for the flex as a potential bridge? So 3 months, $12,000 a month, 8 hours a day on the flex to keep it running in Northtown as we build up the guest network. This is something that was pitched, and I am interested in thoughts on that. If we decide, or if our residents decide that they like one service over the other, or are more comfortable with one, then we could renew that contract for another 90 days, or however that would look. But right now, no offense to guests, I think they seem very wonderful. We're all here for Iris, and not having that fallback to the flex would have been detrimental at that point. So in my vision, it seems that keeping that as a short-term option would be wise. Thoughts?
Are you talking about two services running at the same time?
Having the flex continue in North Kansas City as it does now, at a reduced rate, reduced hours, for short term.
And then where would guest fit into that?
Guest would be in addition to that.
So they'd be both
Correct.
be running at the same time?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. The trouble with that is people might just stick with the one they know, and not try the new service, or they might dabble out, but it's hard to know what would happen. Yes, sir.
You said it's $12,000 a month on this new discounted rate with
Correct.
KC for the flex. That is so much cheaper than what they have been charging us. I would be nothing against guests, just how Iris, like you said, how poorly Iris went. I'd be in favor of using a fairly affordable option to at least test run guests before fully cutting the cord on the flex route there.
Sure. Further thoughts on that one? We don't have to have a decision now, but if you have questions, go ahead.
I'm just curious why all of a sudden they can reduce the price so much, and it was so impossible before. So that's just obviously I know why, but that's just something that
Worth saying.
maybe
out
worth
loud.
pointing out.
Correct.
And just that the price, I'm sure, would increase pretty significantly if we were to continue.
To lock in with it.
Yeah. Competition is good.
Further thoughts on that one? Okay, we're going to have a discussion next time about where, like, hopefully we're going to, think long and hard. If we get any info, we're going to share the contract and pricing as soon as we can have that discussion with Patrick. And then we'll bring all the options at the next meeting. The ATA folks did say that because of timing with their next board meeting, we don't have to have it locked in, but we have to have a really good framework if we're going to keep that going, if we want to go that route at our next meeting. We'll need to at least be able to give them some instruction on that. The next piece is the fixed route. That's still, at this point, top line, $694,000 for our portion of the fixed routes. That is the 238 and the 201 that run through the city. Just ongoing discussions about potential efficiencies and other funding sources. We've made a warm intro to NKC Health for KCATA to see if there's any partnership ability there, if they can get federal funds, that's something they'll need to discuss. So those meetings are being set up, looking for route efficiencies, potentially around the hospital to save some of the miles and hours. And then I sent an email today on suggestion from Don and Bryce, who came to our last meeting, to the city manager of Kansas City to see what, if any, reduction in our percentage could be handled. So right now, when it was first pitched to us on the price increase under the new fair share doctrine 3 years ago, we got the full price number, which is $2.2 million. We said that's never going to work. That's going to bankrupt our transit fund. And they said, okay, 50% off overnight. Again, and then we just kind of took that as that's that. It's never that. It doesn't have to be that. 50% was just a number pulled out of the sky. And so we're going to revisit that and see, because we are the final enclave city. Gladstone and Raytown, or Gladstone's out. Raytown is now a deadhead city with a specific route. So we are the last true pass-through. And so the favored nation clause that exists in all the other ones would not matter because we are the only one. So that gives us a little extra negotiating option. Still, a goal is to maintain fixed routes through the city to keep the network working. But the price has to make sense, and we're exploring all options coming into next week's meeting. So, questions on that? Very good. Anything else on transit at this point for staff or for guests or anyone else to be thinking on for the next couple weeks? Good. Moving on to item 12.
Discussion of temporary food assistance.
All right, I'll take this one. So Rita, you're right. I was going to pull this off, and then SNAP didn't get fully funded. I don't know what the hell's going on at the federal government, and I'm real sick of it. So the last I read as I was walking into this meeting is Donald Trump's still deciding whether he's going to do the thing that the judge told him to do, which is pretty par for the course. So in the interim, I am trying to figure out if there's anything we can do as a city to lean into helping people with their food needs. I know the governor has greenlit some funding at the state level, and then I looked at being able to potentially put our hands on the Harris charitable money early, and I sent an email out to the governing body to kind of give you an idea of what's there. Councilmember Fitzgerald expressed some concern on like how the money would flow, reached out to Mr. Barzee. He shared those concerns, so we shut that part down. And so figuring out if there's a way, if the need continues or if the need arises, to take some of that charitable money early and put it into community organizations like Northland Assistance, like Harvesters, like other places that we are not telling them how to spend it, but they're already doing the thing for food assistance. Much of what we do with these funds anyway goes to food assistance. It goes to all of the Northland groups that are putting money into, and some other things. The lion's share of it has gone into food assistance, and I don't want to, again, if the need persists, wait simply because we do it in January. If the need is now in November and we need to act, that's something I would be looking at. So is that something that council is interested in having a discussion about where we put that money with organizations that are 501c3s, which is part of the requirement, that are already doing food assistance? Yes, sir.
The only downside of that is we'll have less money to distribute to other agencies in the coming year, and we have to be cognizant of that
That is
fact
correct.
and the problems that might cause.
Yep, that's correct. And many of them, while they shouldn't necessarily be dependent on us allocating, because the applications are considered and reconsidered every year, many of them do depend on some of that funding. And you're right, the pot of money would be smaller. Yes.
North Kansas City High School, also the village. We have always been capable of handling food assistance, even during COVID. So if we're talking about the citizens of North Kansas City, Northland Assistance Center has been providing this service for over 45 years. And as I indicated earlier, we're getting more and more community support. In regard to what Councilmember Saper said, I think you're right. I think if you allocate monies for this problem, and we're talking North Kansas City, we're not talking the Northland, we're talking North Kansas City. If you allocate monies, there's only one agency that provides food assistance in North Kansas City, and that is Northland Assistance Center. I would not ask for monies to be allocated to our agency. We provided over $60,000 in food assistance at a cost to our agency of under $1,000 last year. So I would not ask for money for that. We already have the community resources. I would also suggest not giving money to harvesters, because I went to the harvesters page today to see what we could order from them. There was one page and almost nothing we could order. Do not allocate money to harvesters, because that will not come back to us as a city. And you can come to my office. I will show you what's available through harvesters. I know we see all those barrels and things out all over the city, and I've asked where those products go, and they do not come back to our community. So if we're talking as a community effort, we already have something in place. So my suggestion would be to continue to contribute to all these other individuals and agencies, and like I said, like the North Kansas City Police Department, North Kansas City Library. They're collecting right as we speak. So let's do it homegrown, because I've been doing this for 18 years, and every time I see something that's not homegrown for our city, we do not get that product. We do not have that ability. We also have a relationship with Save-A-Lot. We just purchased a bunch of meat from them so we can continue to serve people. So I would suggest, as someone who's done this for 18 years, and as Councilmember Saper indicated, not to allocate the monies from Harris to allow that process to go through as it's always gone through. And we've been beneficiaries of that. We use it for rent and utility assistance. And I would suggest that we take our local resources in North Kansas City and double down on those efforts. You can send anybody you want to my agency. I will feed them.
Thank you. And as a matter of order, we're not going to have back and forth right now, but thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Okay. So appreciating what Rita said, I went down the rabbit hole on food assistance and how it works. And yes, the HARES money needs to benefit, or at least go to an agency that benefits North Kansas City residents. But we also, in the past, have allocated to all manner of Northland agencies who then do benefit North Kansas City residents, but not necessarily 100% benefit to only North Kansas City residents. The reason I would advocate for giving to a group like Harvesters or to others in that vein in food assistance primarily is buying power. So while it's great to have food drives through the police and the fire and Northgate Village and the library and the high school, those are people buying retail food with their own money. Great, thank you to doing that, and then bringing that to the Northland Assistance Center for then distribution. That's wonderful. You can take dollars and multiply them by going through buying power, wholesale, and so that's why, again, Harvesters is a larger group. It's hard to know where that money is going to end up, and because of legal reasons, we can't tell them where to spend it. Once we've handed that off, and that was the big concern prior, is if we donated to a 501c3 and then try to dictate that they only spend money in North Kansas City or only benefit North Kansas City residents, and wherever they're buying from, whether it's a nonprofit or a for-profit or wherever that money's going, if we tell them they have to do a thing with the money we give them specifically, that's a problem legally. And so it's hard to thread that needle between giving to an organization that can then multiply those dollars and feed as many people as possible and not breaking the law. And so I hit a brick wall when I tried to string together a plan that would take money from Harrah's, give it to a 501c3, and then buy from CNC Produce at their wholesale buying rate, and then donate through the YMCA. Can't do it that way. And it's endlessly frustrating. It's correct, and I appreciate the concern and the legal advice. It turns out feeding people is harder than it seems. And so I say that to say, let's get SNAP going again. If you're listening, federal or state government or whoever wants to advocate for it, let's turn that back on as quickly as possible. Go ahead.
Rita, thank you for what you do. Just some quick back of the napkin math. If I'm half wrong, it should still illustrate the point. We have 6,000 residents. The average SNAP benefit's a little under $200 a person. And nationally, average is about 12% of the population is on SNAP. That's about $144,000 a month. So if I'm half wrong, that's $70,000 a month in benefits to our community. So this is unprecedented. SNAP started in 1960. Northland Assistance Center has been doing great work, but they've always had SNAP going at the same time. They have never not had that. This will be completely different. So I'm all for continuing to chase down anything that we can do.
Go ahead.
I appreciate that perspective. I also, though, I trust my experts, right? That's my job. I have experts that work with me, and the expert in the room when it comes to distributing food right now, as far as I can see, is the Northland Assistance Center. They have done it in this community for 35 years, and for how many? 45 years. And if the expert who works for them is telling us that they can handle the need here at the moment because of the community is so generous as far as providing to them specifically, and we want to help the citizens of North Kansas City specifically, then I think for now, I don't know that I'm open to moving beyond what the expert is saying we can do or we should do. If Northland Assistance Center comes to us during the next meeting and says, Councilmember Bailey was right, this is unprecedented, this is really hard, and we are really struggling, then I would be willing to have this discussion. But right now, we are 3 days into this, and our expert is saying it's not something they can't handle, and I think I would rather them come to us and say, this isn't something we can handle, and then we have that talk.
So I spent some time talking with experts around the Northland, Feed Northland Kids being a primary resource, plus there's an email chain that I'm now on 68 people who work in food banks and churches and food pantries, all saying exactly what Councilmember Bailey pointed out is we've never seen something like this where the need has exploded even before the benefits rolled off. Kids coming to school without food. It's wild what's happening, and all of the YMCA is running out when they do their every other Friday. They're running out early, very early, 100 to 150 boxes, and they're gone. And so the need is just so far beyond what we've had before. And if these benefits don't come back on and get funded, it doesn't matter what we've done in the past, that we have no framework for that. It's so much bigger, and I appreciate that Rita's confident that this can get done. I don't want to come back in 2 weeks and find out that the entire community is desperate for food. And it's more about being able to act quickly if the need arises. If we find out this is happening, and I'm going to keep my thumb on the pulse as much as possible, and credit to Julie at Harrah's has been very good to work with on getting those monies figured out, how we can get them flowing if need be. But just getting the idea from council, is this something that we want to try? Councilmember Alvarez.
And just was going to say, I appreciate all the work that you put into that, contacting all the different people to set that up. But if we're saying that we have enough right now, and I think the donations or the drop-off, we still have one at the police department, I guess. I think people are filling that up. I don't know if that's being filled and then it's turned over to you. And I think that if we're meeting the need right now, I would maybe pursue that, just kind of keep it on hold though, rather than going ahead and acting with it, because I think that maybe just neighbors or residents helping each other might continue with the food banks, and we might not need that. So hopefully, it depends on if it goes another month or not. I think maybe at that time reevaluate it or revisit, but I think for now, I think we should rely on the food that's being donated. So, just my thought.
Councilmember Fitzgerald.
I think kind of also echo a couple of the prior comments here that if our local, expert with running the food, for lack of better words, the food pantry in North Kansas City is saying there's not currently a huge need here, she's going to know better than I am. All that being said, if a need does come up, I'm all for trying to, get funding. The people, my concern with the initial plan was I felt like we had a situation where something was, I'll just say I didn't feel like it was right how it was being negotiated and handled with the purchasing policy. So I think we got that cleared up. I just want to make sure if we do give out funding, I want to make sure we're staying within the rules of what the state is allowed to do.
Councilmember Click.
I kind of like what y'all were saying. I think that this could just change in literally a day. And it could be a potentially really drastic change, whether that is like the federal government decides to release the SNAP funds. Even if they release those SNAP funds, though, they are, I think, less than a month worth of SNAP funds. So it's just kind of a temporary Band-Aid until the government opens back up. So for that reason, because I think things could change so quickly, I do think it's worth investigating what our options are and having something ready. And even if it's like, okay, we call a quick 10-minute emergency meeting and make that quick change, but we should be at the ready in case it gets to that point. I think it's wonderful and amazing, and I'm so grateful that Northland Assistance Center has been able to keep up with things so far, but I really think that could change very quickly. So it's worth just being ready, at least with some options, if we have them.
Councilmember Clark.
I guess I have a question on the history of our existence, if we've ever had a moment, and I just think about the fire department. You guys cook there, have to live there for days at a time. I'm just thinking in the drastic moment where we're literally like looking at a soup kitchen line or something where we're like lined up like, whoa, I didn't even expect that I was this close to losing everything I have. If we have something already kind of baked in, like do we have any kind of storage of food of like rice that can just be dispersed at sort of within a couple days whim sort of thing? Because I know donating food is one thing, but like I've honestly seen a houseless person carrying a bag of rice around. I just thought, how are they going to cook that? Like, what's the plan there? Going to Quick Trip? Like, I don't know what their options are for like getting a prepared meal, which I think is going to be more helpful than maybe supplying food where a tired parent's like overspent and overworked and has to then prepare food. I'm very curious how prepared we are if something were to go down and we need to feed droves of our residents.
Yeah, we're not. The trouble is there's a ton of red tape to hand people food. There's even more to cook and provide people food, because then you get into health department stuff. And I went down that route. I was like Googling chili recipes and how to feed people on like a mass scale. And I did a lot of digging last week trying to just figure out how to feed people and hit a brick wall. So people are going to be hungry this week, like very, very hungry if the government doesn't get it together. And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, grasping at straws and catching air.
Would there be, just again, going kind of down this line of brainstorming. Something in the park, like there's grills at the park, there's barbecues, and I know like food handlers, like all of that is important, but if that is somehow accessible with like even charcoal or something, and this is really down the line, and I hope we don't get to this point, and hopefully we won't, but like providing, people can still cook their own food, but have that option to cook their own food, I mean, in a public space.
I don't know how we get to that point, but it's something to consider. Further thoughts or comments on this one? No, not right now. No. Y'all, you can talk to her after. Thank you. Okay. All right. Further comments from the council? Okay. Moving on to item 13.
Consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 8.40 Weeds and Chapter 15.24 Property Maintenance Code. Bill number 7945, ordinance number 9742.
Shu?
Yep. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. This ordinance in front of you follows the discussion we had a couple weeks ago regarding to clean up some of the code language. So staff is clear on which chapter we're enforcing, and we landed on the common discussion on what is the height we're going to enforce regarding to the violation of the code for chapter 8.40, and then we made the amendment following City Council members' direction that we changed the 12 inches to 8 inches and it cleaned up the language in chapter 15 and to make sure all the enforcement is lined up. So moving forward, I'm open to any discussion. Otherwise, I think everything changed to the code has been discussed already.
Any questions or comments from the council?
I just want to comment that I think this code change addresses Liz Ryan's concern. You were concerned in your public comment about weeds potentially getting too tall, and the current code, the code that we're changing was originally 12 inches, and now we're lowering it to 8. So it's lower than it was. So I hope that helps out.
I was going to say the same thing. That puts us only behind Liberty at 6 inches and Independence and Gladstone at 7. So we're like right in the middle of the pack.
First reading.
Second.
That's fine.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Wait a second. Is this the right way? Yeah. Consideration of an ordinance amending section 8.40.020 of chapter 8.40 Weeds of Title 8 Health and Safety of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri, and further amending section 302.4 of the International Property Maintenance Code 2018 as set forth in section 15.24.020 of chapter 15.24 Property Maintenance Code of Title 15 Buildings and Constructions of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri.
5 times fast. I move that bill number 7945 be placed on second and final reading and passes ordinance number 9742.
Second.
Call the roll.
Councilmember McGrone?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Click?
Yes.
Councilmember Saper?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
An ordinance amending section 8.40.020 of chapter 8.40 Weeds of Title 8 Health and Safety of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri, and further amending section 302.4 of the International Property Maintenance Code 2018 as set forth in section 15.24.020 of chapter 15.24 Property Maintenance Code of Title 15 Buildings and Constructions of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri.
14.
Consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 15.26.020, certain work exemption from building permit. Bill number 7946, ordinance number 9743.
If you like long ordinances, we got long ordinances tonight. Shoo.
All right, I will promise not to read this ordinance again. This ordinance in front of you has also been discussed in the past meeting, and the only thing we're really changing is to amend the square footage of accessory structure from 120 square feet to 200. These are the category of accessory structure that are exempt from the building permit. We're not making any other changes, and we have discussed why we're increasing the square footage. That is a standard in the metro area, and we are not going to run into conflict with the zoning code. It's very unlikely. So therefore, we do recommend to increase the square footage of the storage structure from the exemption list of the building permit to alleviate some burden from the homeowners. Moving forward, I think there was a public comment regarding a water tank in the backyard. We are not making any changes to the original exemption list. That water tank was stated as water tank supported directly upon grade if capacity does not exceed 5,000 gallons. With a ratio not greater than 2:1 compared to height and the diameter, they are also exempt from building permit. This is something from the original International Code Council published International Residential Code. Why it is there, why it's 5,000, there is more debate on why did the International Code Council put it over there. I'm just going to talk a little bit about consequences-wise. What should we not worry about? As you all noticed, we have not seen a gigantic water tank in anybody's backyard. So I'm leaning toward this is usually not a concern. And why is it not a concern? It gets to generally, even if the water tank is exempt, it is talking about the building permit part. If it needs plumbing work, if it needs mechanical work or electrical, they still need to pull those permits. Such as beyond those, there also could be retaining walls. This might still need a retaining wall structural permit. And if they're storing water in the water tank, if it is for public water services, they need to obtain permits from Public Works, the water service department. And if they are storing industrial wastewaters, they shall obtain related requirements from the state and maybe the county as well. So it's not that saying, okay, you're exempt from building permit means there is no requirement. I just want to make a clarification on that. Even though it is exempt from building permit doesn't mean there's no requirement or regulation. So I don't think there is an issue with it, but if we want to discuss more about whether or not we want to support a water tank over upon a grade level to be exempt from building permit process, I think there's more research from staff-wise we need to do.
Yeah, if we have a burning desire to amend that, because that's already in the code. Like, that's not even the topic on the thing. George just rolled in and tossed a red herring on top of us, as he loves to do sometimes. But no, like, it's already in the code, and if we want to talk about that, that's not even on the agenda for tonight. But good work doing research on it on the fly.
I will try.
Councilmember Saber.
I know you're going to do more research on it, but can you speculate how it got in there and what?
I have to say I'm not a code council expert, but I do have one in my department. I will have to have a discussion with David Harris, and he is often invited in the panel discussions. I'm also curious why it is in there, but my gut tells me usually it comes not with just the urban setting.
Yeah,
it comes
rural
with,
setting.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
probably
that's what I was
why it
thinking
is
too.
generally in there for the particular needs.
Yeah.
But we can come with a discussion one day if you all find the topic is interesting and not too difficult. I'm sure water is not as difficult as food, right? We can definitely have a discussion about that.
All right.
Thank you.
Any questions on the exemption change for 120 to 200 square feet? Okay. Do we have a motion?
First reading.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes.
An ordinance amending section R105.2 of the International Residential Code 2018 as set forth in section 15.26.020 of Chapter 15.26 International Property Maintenance Code of Title 15 Buildings and Constructions of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri, and further amending said section 15.26.020 of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri accordingly.
I move that Bill number 7946 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9743.
Second.
Call the roll.
Councilmember McGrone?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Click?
Yes.
Councilmember Saper?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
An ordinance amending Section R105.2 of the International Residential Code 2018 as set forth in Section 15.26.020 of Chapter 15.26 International Property Maintenance Code of Title 15 Buildings and Construction of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri, and further amending said Section 15.26.020 of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri accordingly.
Item 15.
Consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 12.04 by creating Section 12.04.035, removal of ice or snow. Bill number 7947, ordinance number 9744.
Okay, this is just codifying what we talked about the last meeting, right? Making a reasonable time and putting responsibility upon the owner or resident of the dwelling. Any questions on this one? Do we have a motion?
First reading.
Second.
Did you have a
You got a
question, Councilmember Alvarez?
Sorry, just wasn't quick enough, I think.
No, you're good.
I'm still just a little uncomfortable with the ordinance because it is a public sidewalk. I just want to make sure that we're not placing any kind of liability on a homeowner regarding the snow removal if it's not done within a reasonable amount of time. And usually I think that it would correct itself because, like I said, the snow melts, so I don't know really how you can enforce that. And if the snow is melting within a certain amount of time or by the time that, like, I don't know how codes does it, if you send out a notice or you contact the resident by, 10 days or, 12 days or something, then usually I think it remedies itself. So I'm just curious about making us liable or making a homeowner liable for their sidewalk when it's a public sidewalk. That's my only concern still. So.
Further comments, questions? We had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? So do we vote there? Okay. I heard very few votes, so let's try that again.
You have a first reading.
We have a first reading and a second.
First reading and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
No.
Opposed?
Opposed.
There you are. Motion passes.
Consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 12.04 Streets and Sidewalks generally of Title 12 Streets, Sidewalks, and Public Places of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri by creating Section 12.04.035, removal of ice or snow.
Move that Bill number 7947 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9744.
Second.
Call the roll.
Councilmember McGrone?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
No.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Click?
Yes.
Councilmember Saper?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
An ordinance amending Chapter 12.04 Streets and Sidewalks generally of Title 12 Streets, Sidewalks, and Public Places of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri by creating Section 12.04.035, removal of ice or snow.
Right. Moving on to item 16, community center repairs. I'll go ahead and talk about it generally, and then you can pick up the details for me. So we budgeted $550,000 for building maintenance and improvements when we took over the YMCA maintenance. As a reminder, all maintenance items are new to us, but capital expenditures, large items, are not. We would be taking care of these regardless of the change in contract. Part of what we were looking to spend that $550,000 on was fixing the roof. Estimated cost on that is roughly $562,000, with a task order that pumps it up after design and planning to $610,000. So that was our plan. We were going to go over the budget already, fixing the roof. However, we got a curveball because we have air handlers in the community center, 5 of them that are all original to the building, 26 years old. Useful life, we looked it up with Anthony and Mike. We were sitting in there and, remind me, 15 years, 15 to 20 was the normal. And we're on 26. So we're on borrowed time, have been for a while. The other wrinkle in this is that the building was built around these air handlers. So they put them in, then they built the building. This one is for the pool area specifically, and the estimate right now for construction and labor is $508,000 for the one air handler. We're waiting on a task order to figure out what all would be involved on that, and now we have to decide what we're going to do. Is there specific direction that you're looking for from us?
No, I mean, tonight we're waiting on the estimates from the task order. These are rough numbers. The 508, I mean, most likely it's going to go up because so far all we know, the only way we know to get this air handler out, the one for the pool, is to create a garage door in the side of the building and bring it out. And then you have to get the next one in. We just wanted to let you know what was going on. As soon as we knew it, we'll have more information. This will affect the Y. They know about it, as you saw in the memo. Pool would be down for at least 6 weeks to take care of this. But we've got engineers looking at it right now to try to do it as fast as possible.
Yeah, and ideally we figure out solutions that we may not have thought of, which is why you bring in the engineers.
Exactly.
So whether or not you're going to extract them from the building, punch a hole in the building, put them outside or on the roof, all options are on the table. It's why the engineers opine on that sort
That's
of thing.
what we asked them to do.
Councilmember Saber.
It is our building, and we're responsible for it, and we're going to be spending big bucks, no matter what we do. Well, I think it's time that we actually have some large signs on that our building saying the North Kansas City Community Center, because many people don't think of it as a city building, or don't know about the contracts we have or the relationships we have with someone contracting to run it, and they think it's just the YMCA. I would like to spend a few of those big bucks, not many, on some signs.
Do we know signage-wise within our contract with the YMCA, are we able to brand the building in any way for us? It seems like mixed messaging to me, but...
There's nothing in the contract, as I read it over, that prohibits us from doing that.
The previous contract had specific language to signage.
The update.
I don't want to tell you something right now. I mean,
Sure.
I'm going to have to double check on that. I don't want to.
Okay.
I think there's something still there, but maybe not. I'll look.
Councilmember Fitzgerald.
How do I phrase this? So it sounds like there's 5 of these air handlers. We're talking about replacing one of them. If we were to go through the cost of putting this garage door, does it allow access to the other 4 or just the one?
To one other. There are
Just
2
so
air
only
handlers
2
in the
of
same
them.
area. Then there's 1 or 2 directly above that, and then a different part of the building. I think there's 1 directly above, and then a different part of the building has 2 smaller air handlers.
And they're all
But
the
this one is
same age.
roughly the size of a city bus. I mean, it's very big.
Yeah, it takes up almost half the utility room that it's in. Happy to give anyone a tour if they want to see the utility room.
Yeah, kind of do, actually.
We did ask the engineers to assess the other 4
Okay.
as well. That's
Yeah.
so we know where we're at.
Projects don't usually get cheaper as we get further into them, but if there's any way to save some money, this sure sounds expensive. So.
Punch card for air
bargain shopping,
handlers.
yes.
Buy 4, get 1 free. Councilmember Clark.
Well, on that note, this is what I'm here to say all the time.
Check
Have
for
we
the
looked
rebates.
at rebates? Anything running off electricity, you run through Evergy, and they do have rebates surrounding air handling units, chillers, really anything that's going to be using electricity. If there is a component, if you're looking at boilers, obviously, to look through Spire. But these are the kind of things where if you go for more efficient, that can help cover the costs, and they're going to delineate the actual cost of the unit versus everything you have to do to make it all happen. So it's every bit worth it to look to see what money you can get back. The other advantage is not just about filling out paperwork to say, give us money back, but you can look at bids that you get coming in and have them evaluate them from an energy efficiency standpoint. And that's all part of the program. So just keep that in mind. Because, yeah, that sounds astronomically expensive. That's like the price of a chiller. Oh, okay.
At the point you're spending $2.5 million on replacing the 5 air handlers, we might even have the engineers look at other geothermal or some other option, since there is ground outside the YMCA. Increased efficiency pays back in the utility drop. So,
sorry, I'm just curious who the architect was that thought that through. I wonder if they own an HVAC company now. And it also sounds like a major dude decision that was made in the past. So thanks for that.
As a major
Women
dude,
should be involved in everything.
I can agree
Thanks.
that probably was one of us. Councilmember Bailey.
Is this going to be one of those situations where it's going to be expensive, but it very well may make sense to do multiple replacements all at once?
That's what we're going to, excuse me, that's what we're going to work with the engineer on, try to figure out. Yeah, because this was definitely not, known to get into having to replace this large equipment this early. And, we're learning about it just last week and getting into it, we'll dive into all of it and see what we have. Yeah.
And two, just make sure that there's no, and to the community as well, this is not the YMCA off-putting expenses to us or not maintaining. These are 15 to 20-year pieces of equipment that are now past their useful life because they've been maintained and because they're operating in a facility that is taking care of things. So this would have been our responsibility either way, old, new contract, either way, and it's just the thing we have to do. Further thoughts or comments? Moving Go ahead.
For the past, I know they were contracted to maintain, though. Do we have any sort of record of their PMs, preventative maintenance, like when they would do
It's a good question.
filter changes and how often, and fluid flushes, things like that?
That was asked last week. We met with the Y last Wednesday on multiple things, but this had come up, so that was asked all of them to produce.
Yeah.
We know in some items there was some lag, there was some lapses, but on this, I can't say for certain.
Yeah, I would say going forward for sure, because, who knows? They might scribble up a log, but there should be a log at every single unit that says, like, when they visit it. Is that, I assume that's on us now.
Yeah, it's us
Correct,
now.
we've established that.
But they should have been doing that right in the past. So there
Correct.
should be some sort of log in the last maybe 10 to 15 years. That gives us some
would
sort
hope.
of indication. But I would just, obviously, going forward, we got to have a log on things. We have to have preventative maintenance, all lined out. Okay, super.
Excellent best practice. I would have, it would be more pressing if we were short of the useful life, if they hadn't maintained it. Now if we were 10 years into a 15-year machine and replacing it, then yeah, show the maintenance log. 26 years, I think it's had a good life. Further comments or thoughts? Nope. All right. Moving on to item 17.
Consideration of a resolution approving a budget amendment for One North redirected taxes. Resolution number 25-077.
Mr. Nick.
Council. So this is kind of a year-end cleanup resolution. It was included in our budget projections, but the One North Fund is basically, up to this point, has been created through a number of different funding agreements within each of the individual parcels that require us to redirect essentially property tax payments, hotel motel tax payments within the district, to specific funding agreements, mainly kind of bonds that are not held by the city. So this year, we've collected more than what we budgeted, which we anticipated as we were creating the 26 budget. So what this ordinance does is basically, it lines up the budget authority with the expenditures, but also as we've kind of gained more management of this fund in the recent months, kind of took advantage of that to be a little bit more specific with the accounts and where this money goes. So this reduces the initial appropriation that was in other services, which is probably the most vague account we have in the city, and puts it into more specific buckets.
Any questions or thoughts? Nope.
This is for last year's budget or the current year?
This is for last year's budget. So, in the 26 budget, we've anticipated that, so it's actually 26 is about $100,000 higher than what this amendment would be for. So, just because it can vary month to month, we decided to do it as a part of a year-end cleanup, and because there are obligated payments that we had to make, it was easier just to come at the end of the year to do a one-time cleanup.
Do we have a motion?
First reading.
Second.
This is a resolution. So, yeah.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 18.
Consideration of an ordinance approving accounts due and payable by the city through October 31st, 2025. Bill number 7948, ordinance number 9745.
First reading?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes.
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through October 31st, 2025.
I move that bill number 7948 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9745.
Second.
Call the roll.
Councilmember McGrone?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Click?
Yes.
Councilmember Saper?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through October 31st, 2025.
Staff comments.
All right, just a couple here. I'll lead off in regards, or kind of along the same line with the YMCA invoice in there. As I mentioned previously, we met with the Y last week. Part of that was to discuss the direction from the last meeting regarding memberships and how to handle that. Just wanted to give you an update. They're working on how they're going to process all that. Their recommendation, if we do once or 3 times per quarter, then let's say in theory it ends March 31st. April is when we would be able to get the data, who attended and all that and how many times. So we'd notify them in April. So most likely it would be May when a membership would be dropped off, because some people would have already paid. They don't collect payment. They don't have a due date every month. It's just whenever you sign up, then you pay that day of the month going forward. But they're working through all the process, what they can get to us and how that would look. They did recommend or ask if we're going to go forward. Is us sending a letter to all the resident members and employee members, of course, letting them know what's going to change.
Sure. Do we have a deadline on when they're going to have that process sorted?
I would hope before the next meeting, but definitely I'd like to have all this in place for the first of the year.
Yeah, I would say reach out and communicate that let's get it figured by the next meeting.
Yep, absolutely. Unless there's any questions, Nick has comment tonight.
Nick.
It's short.
Good evening again. So at the next council meeting will be the annual public hearing on water and sewer rates. We did notice that in the paper, which you need to do up to 30 days in advance. Right now, what is going to be presented is the same that was in the adopted budget, which is a 4% increase for water and a 7% for sewer. This is the last year of the rate study that we did back in 2021. So that will be on the next agenda.
Very good. All right, is that everything from staff? Police, fire, nothing? All right. Anthony? Okay. Council member comments, starting with Council member McGrone.
I just have a couple of comments. My first one is I hope everybody got to get out on Halloween this year. North Kansas City is the best place in all of Kansas City for Halloween. And George, I am sorry we missed your house, but I think we walked by it. We walked all over the avenues. The 22nd Street block party was fantastic. We went to a couple of driveways on Erie and Fayette, and the weather was beautiful, and we saw lots and lots of kids. So if you have not experienced Halloween in North Kansas City, I encourage you to get out next year if the weather's good. And then also thanks to everybody who came out and gave public comments. It's the best way to reach us a lot of the time and to get your voice heard. Thanks a lot.
Councilmember Fitzgerald.
I'll just echo those.
All right. Councilmember Alvarez.
I really don't have anything. Thank you.
Councilmember Clark.
Woo!
You're up.
Okay, I'm typing my notes. River Forest Park is coming along nicely, as we all saw. No, it's not open. It is not open yet. It is not open to the public. Jesse, publishing it online with kids playing. It is not open yet as a construction site still. So please do not invite yourselves into the neighborhood and start playing at that park, please.
There's
But it does look
construction
nice.
fencing. So
Yeah, but you know. Okay, so just putting that out there in case you missed the construction fencing and the piles of dirt. Okay, thanks to the Parks Board members, council members that came out to see it. It's looking good, guys. It's looking really good. It's pretty exciting. Also, I didn't hear a single complaint from residents. Lance might have, but I wasn't over there. But I think we cleared up some things, and that was great. I appreciate the residents speaking out, giving their opinions, and I think it all went very positive today. And thanks for putting that together, Kim, getting us out there. It's great when women are involved in projects, as we're learning. And great job to Yvonne and Jolene for putting together the app and kind of helping to host our block party, which was on November 1st. It was the day after Halloween, so we had a lot of hungover kids, candy hangovers, but they stayed strong. I coached an 8 a.m. soccer game that was really awesome. We won 5-0. No brags, but yeah, hungover kids work well still. Yeah, you did a great job. Everybody had fun. We had people come down from the hillside. We had people from all over the neighborhood come down and hang out, and we hung out until we were done, until the nighttime hours, which was so early but so late. That's it for me.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Thank you to everybody who came out and what everything, but everybody's been said. So, yeah.
Councilmember Click.
Thanks to public commenters, as always. Also, as always, if you like SNAP benefits and you want the government to open, call your people. It might not feel like they're listening, and maybe they're not, but it's worth a try. At least you can feel productive with your time. And that's all.
Councilmember Saper.
I just wanted to make it very, very clear that Ward 1 and Erie Street in particular is second to none in celebrating Halloween. Invite you all to come and see the festivities next year after you participate in your own.
Councilmember Bailey.
In case not everyone was aware, Council and Parks Board were invited out to River Forest Park. I had not had the opportunity to go yet. I got to go. It could not have been a nicer evening. Got to go walk the loop. It is a fantastic park. It is unlike anything else we have in North Kansas City. It has its own character and flavor, and it is a nice addition to the city's parks. So I would encourage everyone, after it is open, to go down there. My biggest hang up was, okay, now I've seen it, and I can't tell everybody else to go there right now. So mad props to all of staff and even Mega KC, who's been helping for that project. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
All right, that brings it up to me. So, River Forest Park, great work, everybody. I did share some pictures of folks crash testing the play equipment. Yeah, it's not open yet, so if you're watching, many of you are not, but don't go yet. We'll let you know. Trust me, there'll be a big celebration. Amy's going to have big scissors and cut a ribbon. Yeah, fantastic job, though. Very cool. We did a dedication for the Police and Fire Memorial, first responders out front here. We had that last week, full house. Just a really great ceremony honoring the families and those who have given their lives. And if you have a chance to come by and take a look at that, especially at nighttime, it's a sight to behold. Halloween's wonderful. The Northgate Village is better, and the block parties are phenomenal. Thank you for hosting, and thank you to, I believe the Shekels were the ones that handled that one, so thank you for doing that. Very cool. And a unique use of block party time. Thanks to Kristen for jumping on the CEAC. And then I host, and then I hosted a town hall last week. Much of the discussion was, again, concerning the potential for a Royals stadium in North Kansas City. No further developments since that time. The video is out there on YouTube if you'd like to check it out. And it will I'm going to re-upload it to the city's YouTube channel as well, so that you're able to just go to NKC YouTube and check it out. That is all from me.
Item 22, consideration of a request to hold and recess into an executive session as requested by the city administrator to be held on this date on real estate matters pursuant to Missouri Revised Statutes, Section 610.021. Real estate matter, real estate matter.
Is there a motion? Second. Call the roll.
Councilmember McGrone?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Click? Councilmember Saper?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
At this time, the live stream in Channel 2 will cut off. There will be no further votes or business this evening. Thank you for tuning in.